I had a client come to me through my website, which was exciting. And she had moved to San Angelo. There was not a lot of homes available when they came to purchase, and she felt kind of stuck. And so they purchased a home that was newer than what they had been accustomed to. They'd always lived in an older home, and it didn't feel homey to her. We started slow and added a rug and some light fixtures, and she liked that. And then we added 2 upholstered pieces in her living room, some extra pillows. She had a great couch, and she had an amazing art collection. We hung her art. Then she said, well, could you help me in my bedroom? Now we're doing a robe and shade in the bathroom, and we're just going kind of room by room. My name is Mercyla Fly, and I'm with RBR Interiors. It originally was Round and Gillis Interiors, which was founded by Richard Round, who I joined 15, actually now 16 years ago, to work as his decorating assistant, and did just pretty much anything he needed me to do and to learn the business. And Richard was older and suddenly passed away October of 2023. And I had just gone through my own journey with breast cancer and had been diagnosed and had finished treatment and come back to work. So I had come back to work that August, and he passed away in October. In the meantime, Richard and I had been talking about moving the business and taking on more retail, and me being more of the lead in that. He was ready to kind of take a step back, but we hadn't formalized the plan. And so when he passed, I was a little bit hesitant to jump in without a plan. He had quite a following and had been here in business over 50 years. So he worked primarily in a historic district here in our hometown, San Angelo. So we're a West Texas town of about 125,000 people. So not huge, but not small. So we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. It feels like it. But I finished the jobs that we had going on, and the plan was we were going to close Round and Gillis. And the state came and talked to me and wanted to know why I didn't want to purchase his business from him and continue. And I was just very hesitant, having gone through my health crisis at that point in time. Even though I had a good, clean bill of health, it was a lot to go through. And so my husband and I spent the weekend praying about it and talking about it. And we decided if I was going to do it, this was the best time to do it. So we bought the business from him. We're in a historic home in a neighborhood here called Santa Rita that has this. We're in a neighborhood. I'm surrounded by houses, and I have a little a permit for an art gallery, and that's how he had been able to be here. So it needed some repairs, so we closed, and we took 4 months to rewire, replumb, all those things, and give it a clean bill of health and reopen. And I went to market, and we added retail. So we've just been going ever since. So April 18th marked a 1-year anniversary of being reopened. I named it and rebranded it RBR. We had no social media, no website, nothing before I took over. And RBR is Richard's initials. So he is Richard Burton Round. And so I named it after him. To know him was to love him, but some people were very intimidated by him. So I didn't want to keep the Round and Gillis name. I wanted new people to feel comfortable to come into our shop and see what we were about and work on projects with us. So that's why we transitioned the name, and there you have it. So we're here now. So actually, that had been my original plan when I went to college. We're in Texas, here in West Texas, and we have a university here, Angelo State University, and they did not have an interior design program. But I decided I wanted to stay here. My parents own a business, and I was able to work part-time and help them. And I had 2 younger siblings, but work and go to school and help pay my way through school. So my plan had been, after I got my basics, I would transfer to Texas Tech or another major university that had a design program. But I was doing well and didn't want to rock the boat. Had gotten a college I got an academic scholarship and some things like that, and it was working. So I didn't want to change it. So I stayed here and got my MBA in not my MBA, my marketing, a BBA in marketing at Angelo State, and have done various things. I've done quite a bit, but I've always and they had one little interior design class and a textiles class in what was then the home economics department. And so I did take those classes. Have always had a love for design, always a love for houses. So I was executive director for a nonprofit. I've sold pharmaceuticals. So I've done a lot of different things, but we have 3 children. And when it was time for me to not travel and be here, I got my real estate license, which allowed me to work with homes and people and buyers. And that's when I found Richard, and he was looking for somebody to come help him. And so I was like, oh, but I need to be able to do both. He didn't care. He loved houses. We often would book appointments, and he would pretend to be my client, and we'd go look at a house, and then we'd talk about how we would redesign it and lay it out, if there was a home that he had never been in. And so it kind of worked hand in hand. And then I learned so much from him, and it was a very valuable OJT, as we like to say. And so from there, we were just off and running. So because I had a love for it, he always said, you picked up on it so quickly, those kind of things. And it was always very complimentary of what I was able to learn from him and glean from working here. So, yeah. He had the best ability to lay out a room and to do floor plans. And I wish I could do this. I did not do that, but I did learn how to sketch a room, do furniture layouts, those kind of things, draft things into a floor plan. But he could sketch an entire room 3-dimensional with pen and ink just from his memory. He was an incredibly gifted artist. And the other thing that I learned from him was his use of color, and not to be scared of color. And we are definitely not scared of color here at RBR. And then also, I found with him a journey we have a very strong local art community. So we feature local artists here in our design shop and help set up those relationships. If you need a piece commissioned or you want to shop here, or when we're working on a job, we'll recommend different artists and put them in contact with either if they have a local gallery or able to shop some pieces here in our shop. But he really believed in fostering that art community and helping it grow. And we have one of the largest in plein air groups. I mean, it's really kind of an interesting little community how the artist, that the whole little culture has just grown over the years. We have a very wonderful, nice museum called the Sneedlow Museum of Fine Arts that when they built their existing structure that they're at now, really kind of propelled that to grow and create interest and spark that interest here in the middle of West Texas for artists to come. So, I did not grow up in a household that ever used an interior designer. And so to me, to foster that education to homeowners, even business owners, that we're here to help guide that process. It shouldn't be intimidating. We're here to help you. We are a resource, and that provides a lot of opportunities and research for you. And it's not something just for the upper echelon to use. And interior decorators and designers are a valuable resource either in your home owning or buying process, but also in giving that look and feel to your workspace as well. So to me, that's what I'm very passionate about, is making it attainable and reachable for the average person, and for people to take that stigma away that it's only for the upper class. So we have a lot of middle class clients, and I think they've been surprised. We've had a lot of new clients over the last year, and they've been surprised that we can help them attain the look that they want. We often will go in and use some of their existing furnishings, and maybe we just incorporate a couple of upholstered pieces, or it's new draperies or a wallpaper that totally transitions and transforms the space and gives them the look that they want. They had some of the right ingredients, but not the whole recipe. So we just try to make it as economical and affordable. We do all levels, but trying to work within someone's budget as well. So. Well, I had a client come to me through my website, which was exciting. One of the first clients that reached out to us to want to work with them. And she had moved to San Angelo. There was not a lot of homes available when they came to purchase, and she felt kind of stuck. They had to move to San Angelo. They needed to be here to help a family member. And so they purchased a home that was newer than what they had been accustomed to. They had always lived in an older home, and it didn't feel homey to her. And she was like, the whole time we were talking, she's like, I don't know if we'll stay in this house very long. I don't love it. So we started slow and added a rug and some light fixtures, and she liked that. And then we added 2 upholstered pieces in her living room, some extra pillows. She had a great couch, and she had an amazing art collection. We hung her art. Then she said, well, could you help me in my bedroom? So then we did some new bedding, 2 new chairs for her bedroom. Now we're doing a Roman shade in the bathroom, and we're just going kind of room by room. But it started out kind of piecemeal. We've added lamps. But she had a great collection and some great pieces that were already a great foundation. We just went in and enhanced those. She didn't like the builder grade light fixtures, so we found her more curated looking light fixtures that fit their style. We took one of her existing pieces and we made a connection for her with somebody who changed the color of that chest. We put new hardware on it, made it look like a totally different piece. There was nothing wrong with these pieces. We just needed to work with them differently than she had in her last home. So, well, for instance, on this one, I knew this woman and had a relationship with her. She comes in and she can put any kind of finish on a cabinetry, kitchen cabinet, painting, that kind of thing. So I just reached out to her and said, it's a very large cabinet. We had a faux finish. We wanted to take that faux finish off and make it more of a modern finish, more of a sleek finish. And she was game, and it was very economical. It was much more economical than purchasing a new piece. Where we do run into problems often is on our fabricators. My upholsterer is 90 years old. And so he is very much slowing down. We're bringing on a new upholsterer that we're starting to try out. Because we're in more of a remote location, sometimes we struggle to have wallpaper hangers. So there's only a couple. We have like 2 or 3 in town. So they're busy and you have to wait. But without these people, we couldn't function. So we wait patiently and work on that. And I cannot tell you what a craftsman my upholsterer Don Spradley is. He can take a piece and really transform it. We love to add trim and gimp and braid and nail heads, and he is exquisite. We also have a furniture repair and refinishing man, Mr. Dominguez, here in town, that also does an incredible job. So we're able to take a lot of these pieces, and sometimes I take a piece from a client, maybe somebody that's downsizing, but they have a beautiful piece, and I'm able to match them with another client that has that need, but maybe they're in a different cycle for their home and family. Their home is larger and can accommodate that piece. And we give it a different look. Maybe Mr. Dominguez refinishes that piece, or Mr. Spradley gives it a new upholstered look. For instance, we have a chair here that I've just sold to a client. We're going to reupholster it. It has a needlepoint top on it right now, which is beautiful, but does not work for the client. So we're going to put a beautiful piece of fabric, cut velvet on it that'll go with their room as well. But we like to incorporate new with old. I like to give an updated look to an older piece and use older pieces when we can. But we also do use new furniture and new items from our vendors as well. So. Well, how I've worked with SBI most recently is I have a client that requested that we take fabric and put a backing and a finish on it to convert it to wallpaper. So we have used that most recently with SBI, but we've also had to take, certain fabrics work to be upholstered as they are and others don't. So to make them more sturdy and give them more body, often someone like SBI can put a backing on it that'll make that piece of fabric that we thought wouldn't be appropriate for an upholstery piece, but the client loves it. And for a very economical fee, we're able to add a backing and give it that finish and use the fabric that the client loved. So, you know, it's interesting in today's world with technology and everything that we have as tools. And who would have thought that we could take a piece of fabric and have a bonding treatment on the front, make it more like a piece of vinyl that could be used in a commercial setting or a restaurant setting, or even maybe it's a high use setting at your home. But it really is amazing what these companies in like SBI are able to do that give us just more tools to use as a decorator with our clients. So just this year, we didn't use them with Richard. I found them this year, and so they've been so accommodating and so easy to work with, and have produced a great product. Well, we also have a retail space in our website that people are able to purchase items on. Not every designer decides to embark on that, but we knew we needed to create foot traffic because we are in a neighborhood, and so we wanted people to learn about our business. So we host pop-ups throughout the year where we bring in vendors that don't have a normal storefront. And we'll be having one of those this Thursday, and they bring in different items and we invite our clients and they come in. We've kind of become the girlfriend birthday spot to pick up birthday gifts and that kind of thing. So we do have gift items. Most of them lean towards the home decor or home items. And we do a lot of personalization on some of those gifts as well for our clients. So although we're about to launch our own candle fragrance that'll be exclusive here. So yeah, that's coming. It's ordered and we're just waiting for that to finish being produced and it'll be here. So yeah.